European Central Bank Chief Mario Draghi, he says that the bank would buy unlimited government bonds from a Eurozone country which asks for help. Mario Draghi right there. Now, clearly, the ones that they have in mind, well, they're talking about the likes of Italy and Spain. What would this do? Well, it would help drive down the country's borrowing costs. But there would be strings, conditions attached to all of that. In fact, nations would have to request help from the Eurozone's bailout fund first and then accept those very strict conditions that come along with it.
Wall Street was feeling pretty good when the closing bell rang on Thursday. A few hours earlier, the European markets jumped as well. All this thanks to Mario Draghi's plans. The president of the European Central Bank pledged that the ECB will buy the debt of struggling EU countries, such as Spain and Italy, and it won't let any solvable member countries go bankrupt.
A wave of good feeling swept across Asia too, where shares recorded their biggest daily gain in nearly 5 weeks after a global rally. Japan's Nikkei index average rose 1.8%, Shanghai jumped 2.3%, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng stock market advanced 1.9%. There were gains too for Korea's Kospi, which went up 2.2%. The ECB's announcement also boosted the euro currency, which rose against the US dollar and the Japanese yen.
ECB policymakers discussed the policy on Thursday before a news conference by President Mario Draghi. Under the policy program called Outright Monetary Transactions, or OMTs, countries in need of help must first pledge their commitment to the Eurozone rescue programs about restoring their fiscal health. The bond purchases apply to government debts with maturities of 1 to 3 years. The scale of purchases will not be limited in advance. It's not yet clear when the buying will start.
OMTs will enable us to address severe distortions in government bond markets, which originate from, in particular, unfounded fears on the part of investors of the reversibility of the euro.
As is often the case with central bankers, Mario Draghi is a big fan of ambiguity. He didn't, for example, say at what point the central bank would intervene to buy up the bonds of an ailing economy, because that might be seen by the financial markets as a challenge.
But Draghi was more specific when it came to the conditions governments must complete to get help. Ask first for help from the European Union's bailout funds, abide by the fund's guidelines on budget cutting and deficits, and risk an end to European Central Bank help if there is backsliding. Draghi's biggest challenge has been dealing with the euro's biggest economy, Germany. It only gets one vote on decisions at the bank, but public opinion there is in no mood for anything that looks like running the printing press to save the euro. But the German Chancellor made it clear she would not oppose the scheme and has given it some public support already.
Ich sage, dass die Europäische Zentralbank
I would like to say that the European Central Bank acted independently and within the framework of its mandate. It's responsible for monetary stability and it introduced those measures within this framework. My duty and our duty is to do our homework as politicians, and this means that we implement reforms, which Spain has done with great credibility.